Let's talk non-physical, non-physical. Let's talk non-physical. Let's talk non-physical. Let us have some spirit talk. Some spirit talk. Let us have some spirit talk.
I don't feel like I'm my best today physically or anything, and we have the something else coming up. But I want to do one more exercise and maybe set it for now. What do you think? Do you think?
Yeah, why not?
Well,
It's fun. It's fun.
what I want to do is I can try to talk about focusing the energy in different parts of the sense of our body.
Yeah.
And see if you can follow, if you can try to follow what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an experiment. Let's see how it goes. But it's an experiment I wanted to try. So let me put, in this case, let me put a counter of 10 minutes. If I want to stop it before 10 minutes, I'll. And I think for next time, Arlindo, I will go with you with 10 minutes because you're good in narrating. we went over the 5 minutes, but I don't know, maybe we did like 7 minutes. So let me.
It reduced me down to 2. No, I'm joking.
No, you're still. But Arlindo is so entertaining that I wanted to have it like 10 minutes. Let's see.
The longer it goes, the more conscious of time I become. But I suppose it, if I initially know that it's going to go on for 10 minutes, then I guess I don't have to worry so much.
Arlindo, you could start a Patreon where you just narrate, your imagination for 20 minutes and charge people money. Dude, Netflix will want to do a deal with you. You're right.
Okay, I'm gonna start it.
That is an idea.
Yeah, I know. Getting Tron Travolta though to play the Avatar that may be a little expensive though.
Yeah.
No, the thing is that it's so unexpected, and I love it that it's so unexpected because suddenly you go from Spider-Man to dinosaurs to John Travolta to I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start a 10-minute count. So the key here is that I hope you can be in a relaxed position because we're gonna try to relax.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting. So I'm relaxing. Now I focus all my energy in my head. So let's imagine the head is like an energy source and it's radiating heat, energy. Okay, now the energy flows to the back of the neck and it goes to the 2 shoulders. So now what we're gonna do is get the energy, all the energy on the left shoulder. So focus only on the left shoulder. So you feel the left shoulder and you don't feel as much of anything else. So now let's move the energy to the right shoulder. So now let's try to feel the flow from left shoulder to right shoulder and back. And now again from left shoulder to right shoulder. So now I concentrate in the right shoulder. So you feel energy on the right shoulder. So now we're gonna go from the right shoulder to the right hand. So we're gonna follow the whole right arm. But you go slowly. Go slowly from right shoulder to the right hand. So now all your energy is on the right hand. So now put the right hand facing up. So the thumb is going to be pointing to the right. So imagine that in your right hand you have power. You have power to heal, power to do things. I mean, the right hand is going to give you power to do anything you want. So now do the same with the left hand. So now keep the energy on the right hand and send energy from the right hand to the left hand. So imagine that you are healing your left hand from the right hand. So the right hand is sending out light to the left hand. So the right hand is like a ball of fire, and it sends energy to the left hand. So now we're going to play with two things. Now keep the hands in that position. I mean, I have it laying on my legs. So imagine that, don't move your hands, but imagine that the hands get together, right hand with left hand. And then start getting closer together and they hug each other. But those are your non-physical hands. Your physical hands stay the same position. So now non-physical hands go back to the physical hands. And let's do it one more time. From the non-physical hands, get together while the physical hands stay at the same position. And the non-physical hands get energy to each other. Now think of both hands and radiating energy. And the energy is like an arc that goes from one hand to the other one. This is like an arc that is a rainbow of energy, different light colors going an arc from one hand to the other hand. So now keep the energy and keep to approach the hands together, but this time also move the physical hands together. So the physical hands go with the non-physical hands and they get closer together. So move them and feel the energy. And then the energy is more intense as they get closer together. And then touch your hands. I mean, get connected, the two hands, physically and non-physically. So now you have the energy in the two hands. Now feel that the energy of the two hands throw a beam, like a laser beam, to the front. So this can be a weapon. You can throw a laser beam to the front, and now you move the laser beam to the left, then to the right. You can move your physical hands. Then up, down. So you can point the laser beam in any direction you want towards the front. So now let's separate the hands again. So feel in a comfortable position. They don't have to be facing up anymore. So let's relax. So now we're gonna do from the head, energy from the head going down towards the body without caring about the arms. So we are in the head, neck, now chest, heart. Let's get up to the heart. Feel the energy in the heart. Now move the energy down. Now let's feel it in the legs, in both legs. Now let's feel the energy in the feet, in both feet. So now feel like the energy in the feet allows you to fly upwards. So it's like a rocket. You throw energy downward and then you move up. You fly up. Now let's focus on the right foot only. You feel the right foot. Only right foot. Now left foot. Everything is on the left foot. Now let's do a flow from left foot through your body, left shoulder, and to the left hand. Do it like several times. From left foot through your body, going down the left arm to the left hand. Now what we're gonna do is this. We're gonna go from the left hand to the left shoulder, through your body to the left foot. And from the left foot to the right foot, the same thing on the right side, towards the right hand. And we're gonna do this whole path from left hand to right hand and back. So we start with the left hand, we go all the path through your body, down, up to the left hand, and then go back. So you feel like your awareness is changing as the energy is moving. Keep doing it, the same path from left hand to right hand through your body, down and up. So now do the same, but start from the right hand. Up your right arm, shoulder, down your body, up your body, down to left hand. And then go back. Okay, done for now. What do you guys think?
My God. Initially, I couldn't feel the energy, but it made me focus on bodily sensations. Made me, you know, when you were mentioning the shoulders, I could feel the warmth of, my t-shirt on my shoulders. I could feel the tactile sensations. But then I was trying really hard to feel an energy, And the more I tried it, the more I began to feel the energy, but I felt like it wasn't flowing through my physical body. It was flowing through this phantom body, which happened to be more or less in the same place as my physical body, but not quite aligned. And yeah, and I was trying so hard not to turn it into a visualization, but I just couldn't help it. Maybe it's because I haven't done this kind of thing before, like
Yeah, but don't worry
playing.
about that. You can have them together or not together. As long as you feel it, you can play with it. It doesn't matter
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
more or less visualization.
It was easy to, you know, the transferring of energy and the flames. I saw like a blue energy, and then it had the shape of flames, and I was passing it around from hand to hand. But it was like partly visualization. And when it came to, having the physical hands separate, but the non-physical hands touching, I could feel the non-physical hands touching, and I could feel the tactile sensation, but I could
Right.
also partially perceive the physical sensations of my hands being separate and the rest of my physical body sensations. So it was like a double
Yeah,
experience.
that's what I was telling the
Yeah,
other day. I don't know if I told you too, but Michael, I was telling Michael that I was feeling like two channels when I was
yeah, yeah.
practicing. So the
That's right.
non-physical and the physical.
Yeah, yeah. And then the more I built on it, the more I began to experience the non-physical body and really, like shift my focus away from the physical sensations, so I could really get a good, a strong feeling of a grip, like a non-physical grip of my non-physical hands touching together. Yeah, and then it was easier. For some reason, it was easier to feel the energy flowing through that body. But then when it came to experiencing the energy flowing through the physical body, uh, I found it harder. I found it, for me, it's like the physical sensations were like almost like a distraction, and I was struggling to with my focus, back and forth. It's like, okay, and then also trying to keep the visualizations at bay, like trying not to visualize the whole thing so much, because I felt like the visualization could potentially drown out the tactile sensations, and even possibly lose that that tactile perception of the energy as well.
I think
It's like my mind takes me to visualization. It has a tendency to just visualize things, as opposed to it's harder for me to experience tactility, if that makes sense. It's almost like, for me, it's vision first and then sounds second. The sounds can pop up just like that, and then the tactile sensations in imagination are harder to come. It's almost like, because the tactile perceptions of the physical body are so set there, it's like a default mode for me. So I don't. It's almost like my default mode doesn't feel the need to focus on tactility so much, because it's already so well established, if that makes sense, in the physical. But then again, if I really try to focus on the other non-physical channel of perception, and I try to feel tactility, I can do that. But it doesn't come as easily as it would if I'm in a lucid dream. If that makes sense. Like in a lucid dream, it can really feel like I'm touching objects, like, in a lucid dream, I remember seeing like this melting clock on a wall. And then when I touched it, it had that shape of melting, but when I touched it, it was really solid. And then as I was moving it, I was making it collide against the wall, and I could hear the sounds like, and it was really realistic, and I could feel it, and I could squeeze the clock, and it felt really solid. You know, so it's almost like you're well tuned. If you're lucid dreaming, you're well tuned to that. But with here, you know, when it comes to doing it as I'm sitting here right now, the tactile sensations of my physical body here can seem like a distraction. You know, it's always there. It's almost like I'm having trouble with the focus. You know, it's like, oh, I don't want to lose that non-physical sensation, because I can also experience that physical sensation. It's like that overlap, and it feels like the physical tactility could potentially overtake, you know, could erase the other, you know, non-physical sensations. And then I also have to keep the visualizations at bay, because I want to experience tactility, but a tactility other than the physical one that I already have. Does that make sense? I hope I'm not rambling.
It's interesting that you say this, because to me it's totally different. To me, the visualizations don't interfere at all. I mean, sometimes I see better, sometimes I see less, but nothing doesn't change anything at all about the rest. And the other thing is that everything of moving of energy in my case is totally non-physical. Wow. Only in the case of the hands that I was saying, think of the non-physical hands moving together, but stay with the, only in that case I had two streams. But in the rest of the streams, I was always focusing 100% in the non-physical. Yeah. I didn't care about any physical feelings. Maybe I should have been more specific when I say motion of energy. I meant motion of non-physical energy. Maybe for next time. So when I was going the path of the flow, like from the right arm, all that was all vibrations to me. I was ignoring anything physical at all. Nothing of the normal physical. Everything to me was, I mean, it's like that the physical channel was still there, but I was ignoring. I was ignoring, like what you do when you visualize with eyes open, that you might see something else, but you're ignoring it. Yeah. So to me, any physical sensation, I ignore it during the only case I didn't notice when I was saying feel the physical hands, but at the same time feel the non-physical. So that's when you have two streams. Yeah. I kept going back and forth between the non-physical hands touching and the physical hands being separate. But I'd say that the non-physical hands touching is the strongest tactility I felt during this exercise. When it comes to the, you know, transferring the energy, I tried really hard to feel something, but all I could feel was my focus on the physical body moving, and then in my head I could see like this glowing blue ball moving from my left hand up my arm, and then going down, and then going to the other arm. It was like a ball of light moving. It's like a visualization as opposed to vibration. And did you feel vibrations too, or not? No. Well, in my case, I feel maybe you're more experienced than me. Yeah, when it comes to this type of thing. You know, but even if you guys don't feel any vibration, but at least if you feel something, some awareness, that's a good thing. I wanted to feel really strongly the type of vibrations I get sometimes when I'm trying to induce like a wake initiated lucid dream or an OBE, those types of vibrations that come. And I usually, well, sometimes they can really dominate my body, and then my body starts shaking, it's like, and then I'm flung, you know, like cannonballed out of my body. Or sometimes they're more localized in my head. It's like I can feel like, and then I can also hear like a, you know, like what are those machines called that measure a baby's heartbeat? That type of sound.
Doppler ultrasound.
Yeah. That's it, like a Doppler ultrasound. It's like the sounds are so real, so vivid in my head, and the vibrations are really strong. But they only come to me when I'm in that altered state, when I'm relaxed in bed and I'm crossing over to, you know, that non-physical realm. But when it comes to to experiencing, you know, like phantom sensations vividly as I'm here right now, sitting up, talking to you guys. That's where I'm, you know, what I struggle with. But I felt it when the hands were touching, when the non-physical hands were touching. But I kept going back and forth. I felt it really strongly there, right there, when the non-physical hands were touching, and I was really there. But then it's almost like something reminding me of the non-physical hands, and then my focus kept going back and forth.
But in my case, I felt it in both ways, but I felt it stronger when my physical hands were together. I felt the energy, but the physical, when both of them were together, it was a little stronger than when they were separated. But I felt it in the two cases.
Yeah, so let me describe what so first thing is this is immediately when Claudio started doing this, this reminded me of actually my class that's coming up. So Qigong, they do very similar things, except there's very specific motions and stuff like that you focus on when you're doing it. I think the most interesting thing for me was, and they don't do this as much, at least in what I'm trained in, is when you kind of separate out like your hands from your non-physical hands. I thought that was really fun. And what I found too is that what I started to do is they said, well, why just one pair of non-physical hands? Why not more? So I created almost like multiple copies of my arms and hands and created like a circle. And then as Claudio was telling us to bring everything together, I was imagining that circle getting smaller and all the energy concentrating until my hands were touching and like everything was all together, and then I could open it out again. So that's the way I perceive that. I like the loops. Qigong, they teach some loops, but this was different, obviously, the loop between the legs and the hands. Anytime you can create that energy loop, it seems to have like a reinforcing effect, and it becomes more visceral. Yeah, I think it's a good thing to learn how to be able to focus your awareness on different parts of your body. I have this belief and some evidence that each part of our body has like vortices, or portals is a better word. And so when you can focus your energy on different portals, you can get different types of information. So yeah, no, so I enjoyed that.
I think for next practices, I want you guys to do like I did, something similar. Use your imagination, whatever you want to try. But another thing I want to try, I don't know if today we try or next time, is to imagine a copy of our body in front of us and trying to feel the energy of that body. So basically, kind of like astral projecting, but first you imagine your second body, let's say, and then you imagine that you are there instead of like you are ahead.
Yeah.
So maybe do you want to do it today or next time?
So that's one thing, and they actually teach that in my class. They had meditation one day on that. But the other thing is, I think Robert Bruce talks about this, but I could be wrong. Is you actually have the second body touch your first body, so you get the sensation or the validation that your second body's there because it's now touching your first body and giving you sensations. So it's kind of, you can have a little bit of fun there.
Yeah. Well, my main goal is to try to use these type of things to facilitate getting out of body. That's the main goal, not just by moving energy, but by practicing. This is like warming up for trying to.
I've done that before with trying to induce a wake initiated lucid dream, and then I just began to visualize already being outside of my body, and at first it was just only in imagination, and in my field of awareness, the blackness, I began to try to shift the focus away from my sleeping body position, and I tried to really imagine that I was already standing up, and I was in the bedroom, and it's really dark, pitch black. And I imagined that the bed was already next to me as I'm standing. And then the more I focused on that imagination, it just became real. All of a sudden, it's almost like it can surprise you out of the blue. You're really there. It's all everything, the tactility of you standing and then touching the objects around you, and you feeling like you're already standing up as opposed to lying down. It just becomes real. It's almost like a reification that just happens. It can happen gradually, or it can happen just like that, like pow, you're there. And then you can play around. And the more you move around, if your surroundings are out of focus, you can use sensory amplification to make it even more real.
I have an idea of something we can try. Remember the video of the lighthouse in South Point in Miami?
Yeah.
We can watch it, or we can do it without watching it, but we can, the three of us, imagining that we are there. So see if we can feel something, visualize something.
Yeah.
Like in other words, we can incorporate, because the practices today, the first ones were mainly visuals, but we can try to incorporate, adding to the visuals, being us in non-physical form in the experience.
Yeah.
So and we can use a common ground, like for example the place I suggested, the lighthouse there.
Yeah.
Because I think to visualize, for example, it's easier to visualize that lighthouse because it's only one object that has grass out surrounding it, and not caring about the rest. It has some water next to it. But for example, Paris is a little more difficult because the Eiffel Tower is surrounded by buildings. It's a more complex scenario. So I think that this is simpler than.
That's right.
To imagine and try to get there.
Thing to focus on, definitely. I mean, visualization is all
but
right.
Anyway, be open-minded, and I'm willing to try anything that you can suggest to see how it works.
Yeah. And in my own spare time, I think I'm going to try and play around with energy, and try and, because I think Michael really excels at this more than me, because he could feel like several arms, and then when they came together, it's like it's like embracing, and with me, I was struggling with two arms and two channels of focus, the physical and the non-physical, and really trying to feel that energy. Maybe I should try and experience vibrations next time, but I feel like Michael.
Another thing we can practice by ourselves and then together another time is to imagine we are in the middle of a sphere of energy, and we can feel that the sphere of energy is protecting us, is giving us clarity. So we can use that. So we are in the middle, both the physical body and the non-physical body. We are inside a sphere of energy, and we can try to visualize it, try to feel it. Maybe try to even hear it somehow. Maybe choose some sound that is related to that sphere.
Interesting, yeah.
Even try to feel it. Maybe maybe try to add more senses to it.
Yeah.
And that can be helpful too. I mean.
Yeah. Qigong is to do with energy, isn't it? I was going to say.
Yeah, it's I would say that it's more, you spend less time moving your body than Tai Chi, and a lot more, but I don't know about what Tai Chi involves exactly, but there's a lot of visualization involved, a lot. It is so much about developing, and by visualization, I mean, like you were saying, it's like tactile. It's not just visual, but it's also tactile. And you're trying to get energy, you're trying to leverage what the mythology says about where the energy comes from, which is the ground and the heavens, and then manipulating that energy within your own body to achieve healing states. But I imagine that it also branches off into like almost like sorcery type components which are not as much talked about, but the idea that we can use energy to do different things. Now, the other thing is there is also a branch, which also my teacher doesn't talk all that much about, which is that it can be used to induce out-of-body experiences. So it's all in there. And so, but the more you practice it, it reminds me a lot of Robert Bruce's techniques. In fact, I think Robert Bruce was inspired by Qigong, and he's developed kind of his own way of doing those visualizations.
I see. I wonder if chakras, like the whole chakra system, is
so in Qigong, it's interesting. Instead of having like the 7 or 9 chakras, you have 3 dantians, which are basically your belly, your heart, and your crown or your head. So it's like a different terminology system. Also, we use meridians. I think chakras, people have combined the two, but they're kind of like separate traditions. So it's kind of funny.
Maybe in my case, I personally experienced forehead, crown, back of head, back of the neck, the whole back, especially in the center, heart, like sexual area. So.
Oh yeah, I pick up a lot too. Although I haven't even thought about the back one, so I'll think about that.
So I end up believing what I'm feeling.
Oh yeah, you should. That's the thing. I think all these systems create unnecessary filters. I think you have to look at your own body or sense your own body, and you'll see what's actually there. And it's like I found.
I don't see it as my body. I'm thinking about my non-physical.
Well, that's what I mean. It's your non-physical body that you're sensing.
Even though I don't consider my non-physical a body.
Well,
but to me, it's like
it sort of conforms. It thinks itself to conform itself to you, your physical body. It's when you no longer have a physical body, it may take on whatever shape it wants to. But right now, it's pretending to cover.
Right. You. My idea is like this: the non-physical let's say non-physical domain, I would say, to say something more flexible, adapts to the physical body. So it adapts and it has some energy related to the physical body. So that's why we have these sensations. Mm-hmm. But those can expand, I think. Well.
Yeah. I mean, the way I think of it is that we carry with us non-physically the entire universe and all that is. But we're sort of conforming in the shape of a physical body, since that's where we're focusing most of our awareness most of the time.
Yeah, and one good example is when somebody loses a leg, that they keep feeling like call it phantom leg for a long time and maybe forever.
Yeah.
Because they were so used to feeling that energy that they keep feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe the energy is still, somehow there.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to run in a few minutes, so I don't know. You guys could stick around or whatever.
No, but maybe we can talk a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna bow out and I'll see you, Arlindo, next week. Thanks.
I'll look up Qigong.
And practice with John Travolta. Okay, some movies.
That's right. That's right.
Like the whole
staying alive.
Staying alive.
All right, I'm not going to go on for that long, but yeah,
it doesn't matter.
That protective bubble of energy you were talking about, when we form it, do we feel it as vibrations around us, like sensing something vibrating around us, or do we feel the vibrations inside our bodies and then it expands and becomes like this protective energy, and then it goes from tactile perceptions to visualizing something like an energy field?
I try to ignore the physical body as much as possible, but that's my approach.
Right, yeah. So ignore the physical body and then just focus on the non-physical, and not just visualization, but experience the phantom sensations, you know, like
Right.
vibrations, and then the vibrations.
I didn't try like Michael suggested, but who knows? Maybe it's possible to feel like a third arm.
Yeah.
if you practice enough.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the use though. I prefer to spend my time trying to get out of body than trying a third arm. But
yeah. Because it just feels like it's so alien to imagine more than two arms. It just feels like an alien concept. So, but I suppose it's possible because, you know, if you can experience two arms, then you just imagine, okay, an extra arm. The third arm can feel like the first and the second one, but in a different location. I suppose it's you know, it's possible to imagine like an arm sprouting out of our backs, you know, and feel that, you know, like a sensation there, move like a moving limb, like a third limb, and then you can go to a fourth limb and a fifth one. I suppose it's possible. Yeah, you could turn into a spider and imagine what it would be like to be a spider.
Yeah.
I've got nothing else.
But anyway, one of my goals is to be able at some point for one of us to be able to be on the session and be out of body at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Or doing astral. Well, no astral. Doing remote viewing.
Yeah, I think
like for example, I'm talking. I say, well, right now I'm seeing a street. I try, for example, things that are connected to some validation. That, for example, being able to see a name or like a street name.
Yeah.
A license plate or something that you can really then
like
try
validate.
to.
Yeah. I think we could try remote viewing. We could try imagining you know, when you said about imagining a body outside of our physical, and then we transfer the energy to that body, and then we become that body. I also like that. So we could try remote viewing. We could try the second body exercise, and we could also try the lighthouse. You know, the light meet at that location.
Right.
You know, the lighthouse in is it in Miami? It's in Miami, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you showed us the Google Maps. Yeah, I think we should try all those things, definitely.
Because imagine if we can talk. The ideal situation would be the three of us being out of body and talking at the same time. Imagine, I mean, the views that we can get.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine that.
But anyway.
Yeah. What would we remote view to try and validate? Maybe.
Well, my parking lot is one thing I'm thinking of.
Right. Yeah.
Because my parking lot, I can go physically and check.
And check. Yeah. That would
Sometimes
be interesting.
but I fail. I try to see the clock, the time in my kitchen. In my kitchen, I have the time from the oven and the microwave.
Yeah.
So I can see the time there.
Yeah. And then
but
you can.
I don't know why. For me, it's easier to be in areas that are bigger than the areas that are small. I think I don't know why, but for me, it's easier to get into a parking lot and to get in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But I had to keep practicing trying to be in the kitchen too.
Yeah. No, definitely. We should definitely experiment with that.
Do you have some place you can validate something in close to you? Like a parking lot or something.
I've got the neighborhood, the back of my house. You know, and the neighboring cars. I could check what cars are parked on my street. Other than that, not really. Nothing I can think of really. Because the front of my house is like a massive green, and there's not much going on there, apart from the neighbors and their dogs walking their dogs. But they're moving targets, aren't they? So you know, I don't think it would be good to focus on people if they're moving, because we could see them, and then when I decide to go and check.
No, because one thing you can do is a car that is visiting somebody, because unfortunately there are going to be cars that are always there, but sometimes some days they might have a visitor, and then maybe you can check that. In my case, it's easier because my parking lot, I'm in a complex. They have several buildings. In my case, we don't have assigned parkings.
Right.
They are assigned, but by sectors. So I have a tag, I have a sticker in the car, and I can park in a sector. But in the sector, I can park. It's like first come, first basis. I mean, when you find a good spot, you park. So that's a good thing, because it's not predictable where the cars are going to be.
Yeah, that's right.
I can validate, okay, this car was parked here instead of there.
Yeah. In my street, you get sometimes you get company vans, supermarket vans, you get some, because people are always ordering something from somewhere. So I suppose that could work as well. And sometimes the neighbors get visitors as well. So you see cars that weren't there before. I suppose that could work as well. But yeah, I think your parking lot would be a good one to try for all of us to focus on.
What I want to do is, I keep saying, and I didn't do it yet. Maybe tomorrow or today, I'm going to film it. I'm going to film it because that way I can practice watching the video, and I think that might help me get there either by remote viewing or by.
And scientifically prove it and win the Nobel Prize.
Whatever. Yeah.
I think someone tried to do it. Yes, Michael Persinger, but he's dead now. But he was into parapsychology, and he was doing experiments with entangling minds and working with electromagnetic fields. And he recruited that Ingo Swann as well. And he was like an eccentric professor. If you look him up, Michael Persinger, the guy who came up with the God helmet. You've heard of the God helmet, yeah? So anyone that wears the helmet can have strange sensations, can experience, like the electrodes. The electrodes make you experience like presences, or sometimes make you have out-of-body experiences. So maybe there's something to it. And he was adamant that, remote viewing and telepathy as well is real, because he said he got some results. They never replicated those results because I think people tend to, skeptics tend to be, very dismissive in the scientific community. So, but imagine if we got some results. Imagine that. What would you do if we got it right every single time with remote viewing? Would you try and put it out there? Well, it goes out there, doesn't it?
I like to promote the practice, basically, mainly.
Yeah.
But being out of body would be a very interesting addition to it.
Yeah, definitely.
But even without that, only by visualizing and being in the visuals is a very useful tool, because you can feel better. At least in my case, I feel better. I'm entertained. I mean, it is better than playing a video game, because you do it with your mind. It's organic. It's healthy, right?
Yeah, and no rules.
You don't need to go in a device, and because I feel sometimes I'm in enjoying a video game, but it's even better because you are inside the game, right?
Yeah, that's right. So it's like VR, isn't it? Like you're
and
there.
Also because you can turn, and then I don't know, it's amazing. So,
no, definitely.
So even for people that you don't succeed with an out of body, but being able to experience all that, they can get you out of feeling down or depression. Yeah. Because you feel certain power, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And some people that might feel like they're not connected to anything, they can feel a connection to some higher power. That there is something there.
Yeah.
Because definitely. to me, I don't know if you agree with me, but to me, there's no doubt that these things are not created by myself. They are created by something else.
Yeah, yeah,
We help welcoming that stream, but we kind of like are the radio stations, not the creators.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like in the scientific community, because they're so ingrained in the doctrine of materialism, they would explain it away, or try to say that, oh, it must be, because they can't check it directly, but they would say it must be something to do with the neurons, like you were saying earlier about the phantom limb sensation. Whenever, amputees, whenever they lose a leg, they can still experience like a phantom leg for years. And in the scientific community, they will say, oh, that's because the the neurons in the synapses, the shape, the connections are still there to experience the sensation of leg, even though the leg is gone. So they would explain it away using
Yeah, but it's difficult to
science.
explain everything, because what happens when you try to, let's say, put a lighter in the leg, non-existent leg, you're not going to feel heat, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So they're trying to accommodate so that they can justify some connection, but I don't know.
Definitely, yeah. It's like, I don't know if you, very quickly before I let you go, I don't know if you heard of the Jennifer Aniston neural correlates. So basically, the actress Jennifer Aniston,
Yeah, right, I know.
the stars of Friends, yeah. So basically, in this study, people were shown a picture of Jennifer Aniston, and they were told to think of the actress, and then they were looking inside the brain, looking at the brain connections, because they thought, right, if everyone thinks of the same person, surely the same brain connections are going to flare up in the brain. You're going to see the same shape, the same areas are going to light up. There's going to be like a neural correlate just for Jennifer Aniston. But that wasn't the case, because the neural correlates were different for every person who was looking and thinking about Jennifer Aniston. But I suppose, you could also say maybe each person feels differently about the actress, and that could create different brain correlations. I don't know, but yeah, that didn't work. They predicted that it would be the same in every brain, but it wasn't. It's different. It's different every time. So it's really
if you find a link about that, I'd like to
I'll
check
definitely, I'll definitely send it to you. Yeah. There's
Well,
so many things that they predict, and it just doesn't match up. Like the results don't match up.
I want to relax and eat something, because then I have the next one coming up in an hour. We're gonna be with
Oh, is
Danielle.
it?
Do you know who Danielle is?
Danielle,
No?
is it the woman who was talking about NDEs and?
No, the
Oh
UMO.
no, that's a different one. Yeah.
The UMO group has a YouTube channel. An ordinary UMO is an ordinary made ordinary. Oh, by the way, this Tuesday they have a Zoom meeting.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if it's gonna be easy for you, because it's 8 p.m. of my time. It's gonna be difficult for you.
Yeah.
It's 8
I'll
p.m.
probably be already in bed.
Oh, they're gonna change the time. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for you. But they have this meeting because they are in California. So it's even more different, more gap between UK and California than here. Here is, I don't know if it's gonna be 4 hours after Sunday, because they changed the time here on Sunday.
See, is it a recorded Zoom meeting? Yeah.
Right.
You're gonna attend?
No, they don't record it. They don't record it.
Okay.
I mean, you are there, but that's it.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's one of the sisters of the channel.
Oh right, I see. Yeah.
So
Does Michael know about this? Is he going?
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I probably won't make it if it's at 8 p.m. innit? That's the problem, because 5 hours. Yeah, I'll be in bed.
Well, maybe it's gonna be 4 hours here, but I think it's gonna be like midnight, right?
Yeah, it would be midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what happens. Yeah, it might be quiet in the house, but yeah.
No,
I mean,
you don't have to. It's not that important. I was just saying.
Yeah. But they're going to be discussing this type of thing, isn't it?
Oh, maybe what I can try is to record my screen, so then you can watch it later.
That would be an idea. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna try.
To see what was said. Yeah. But you're going to have the woman on your channel as well, aren't you? Today.
No, the one later today. Yeah.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can watch it.
Yeah,
Even
no,
if I don't upload it, I can give it to you to check in private.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I
See
want to
what people
relax for
think.
a bit. So,
No
but
problem.
anyway, I'm so happy with these new ideas we got, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's quite rich. Today was quite
Very
rich.
nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Very nice.
definitely. And I think we got some hits as well.
Right. It's nice.
Yeah,
Very productive. Very productive.
yeah, definitely.
So have a
definitely.
good weekend, Arlindo.
You too. Take care. Yeah.
Thank you.
Try and relax before the next one.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.